All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So today I want to engage us in a conversation about diversity. Because diversity is a hot topic right now, between what's going on with the White House and this, alleged group that's supposed to be routing out, weeding out corruption and fraud and all this kind of stuff. And then what it sounds like Reverend Jamal Bryant is spearheading this Target boycott. Everyone's talking about diversity, diversity, diversity. And as I listen to the conversation, it only addresses one half of the conversation on diversity. And it's the political economic half of diversity, right? The whole civil rights movement was about basically saying, you can't legally discriminate against me because I am not white. That's the basis of the civil rights movement. To oversimplify it, the government, this company, this neighborhood, this state, whatever, you cannot legally discriminate against me. You cannot legally obstruct me. You cannot legally hamper me or hobble me or oppress me or murder me or you know what I'm saying? That's not legal, because before it was legal. So the civil rights movement made it illegal to discriminate and oppress black people, period. So I get it. I understand that level of the conversation. But I used to be a diversity trainer. And as a diversity trainer, this is what I know. And this is a part of the conversation that we as black people aren't really talking about enough. It's not about what's legal. It's you can't mandate the real essence of diversity, right? The foundation of what diversity is all about is my humanity, your humanity, his humanity, her humanity. And making it so that each individual understands and claims his or her own humanity. Most people don't come to this part of diversity, even within the realm of diversity work. What do I mean? W.E.B. Du Bois gave us this wonderful framework, which he called dual consciousness. Dual consciousness is basically a sophisticated way of talking about internalized white supremacism. Dual consciousness is where you see yourself through the lens of white people. As a black person, you interpret everything that you do according to what you think white folks want, need, approve, and accept. That's the real root of dual consciousness. So you dehumanize yourself. You deny yourself because ultimately you don't feel acceptable to white people. That's what dual consciousness presents to you. If you sit with it long enough and you work with other black people enough on the issues, you're going to come to that realization. Oh, this ain't about white people. Ultimately, colonization is another expression of dual consciousness. The way I talk is unacceptable, not because white people have even said it's so. I think that white people are going to say that it's unacceptable. Well, the way my hair is, I think white folks are not going to accept my hair. My style of dress, my color aesthetics, I think that white folks are not going to accept it. So before we even get to the conversation, I edit and censor my own humanity and relegate myself to the things that I think that white folks are going to agree with. So when you get to that point of the conversation, you realize we need to have a family meeting, and we need to talk just amongst ourselves. This is not about, right? So then the slick people, they say, oh, reverse racism. This is not reverse racism. This is about mental health. This is about us being able to sit down with one another to have a conversation about what really makes us tick. Because that's what we need to have as a baseline for us to then build and put things in place for ourselves that are really going to work for us, that's really going to speak to our condition. And so that is where I am within the School of Orisha Studies. The project that I'm running now, the main project, the flagship project of my work is the School of Orisha Studies. And I run the School of Orisha Studies like a historically black college or university, like an independent black institution. It's for us and by us. Not because it has anything to do with people who aren't black, but because it has everything to do with people who are black. And setting the stage for us to address the most important issue of our whole existence, which is our identity. That's why we have religion. That's why we have a spiritual discipline. Your spirituality is what gives you the deepest sense of your identity, more than your national identity, more than your state identity, more than your college degree, more than what branch of the armed service that you were in, more than how much money you make, more than what kind of style of clothes you wear. What is the origin of your soul? What is your purpose as a human being? Those are questions that are answered by your religion. So people who practice, black people who practice African spirituality are answering the most fundamental question of our existence. And so within the School of Orisha Studies, it's essential, it's integral that conversation is just us. It's just us. Other people cannot be a part of that conversation. Even if that's not the subject that we're constantly harping on. We're talking about everything about life, but from our own perspective, without having to ever consider what other people think, feel, or say. So that's the driving force of the School of Orisha Studies. And I need for people to understand it from a psychological perspective, from a mental health perspective. My mission is to help restore the African mind. And so the work that I have done as a diversity trainer gives me insights into what kind of an environment is necessary in order for us to restore our African minds. Right? And so I'm crafting this message for the leaders, because to lead our community, you gotta be a certain kind of person. You gotta have a certain background. You gotta have a certain kind of love in your heart. You gotta have a certain kind of focus, discipline, resilience, stubbornness, and skill. If you're one of those people, you're a black man, you're a black woman, and you are really, truly committed to helping to improve our conditions through positive influence, I want you to find out how Oloye, Obafemi Origuwa, and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the highest level possible. I want you to visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's start working together to heal your life so that you can heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.